Dylan,
we
I
were
hope you listen
watching
to us.
we were like watching Shakespeare, and I shit you not, we were 30 seconds into the movie. He paused it, sat back in his chair, and went, isn't that just something? I'm
Yo!
sitting here going, what are we talking about? I don't even know what they just said. How the Shakespeareans talk. I can't even think of a line right now. That's how outrageous it is.
Dude, this is how he used to do it. He used to pause
Yeah.
and then he
And then
would go
sit
like
back.
he'd sit back and he'd put his feet up like this and he'd be like, so guys, look at this over here. I would
Dude, I
I
love
would
it. I
shit
love it. I'm glad
myself,
you had the
bro.
same experience because that's one of the funniest things to me. Is just like the immediate
Oh,
30-second pause, and it's like, oh my God, thy lady from the night. It's like,
Taylor Swift, everybody. Basically just
yeah.
Shakespeare and Mr. Gillen's class.
Taylor Swift is just the Shakespeare of our generation, and we're just living for it.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Carl here from the Two Man Podcast, and welcome to episode 29. Tyler, how are we doing today? You excited?
I'm doing good. Just realized now my mic is the wrong way. Something that we struggle with every single episode, and I haven't done in a while. But we are excited for
Um,
yet another episode, and it wouldn't be an episode without me doing that.
oh, no, hell freaking not. Tyler, what do we got talking about today? Let's go through it. Let's go through it,
We got
baby.
a great show planned for all you guys. Again, another NFL and hockey and basketball and sports centric episode. We're going to start with our lovely two-man thought of the week. Then we're going to go into a little bit about the Knicks because their series will not be over as of recording, which is Wednesday. Then we'll go into a little bit about I took a trip to see Billy Joel. We'll talk a little bit
Ooh.
about that. We'll talk about the NFL draft that just came and went. We'll go a little bit into Taylor Swift's new album. This is for all our listeners who are interested in that. We will give our opinion on that, which is probably the opinion of many others. Then we'll go into the lovely Deadpool and Wolverine trailer that just came out recently, and we'll end with a lovely game that fits with the theme that you'll just have to find out and stick with us till the end.
Hell yeah, Tyler. I'm excited, man. We got a lot of good stuff planned. I'm happy we get to talk some T Swift for all our T Swift listeners out there
Oh yeah,
and, get into the nitty gritty of what is some amazing sports news going on right now.
of
So
course.
let's get to it, baby. Let's get to it. So, how about you start us off with our two-man thought of the week, Tyler? Let's
Awesome,
go.
yeah. So my two-man thought of the week this week, which might have been my two-man thought of the week last week, has to do with the same thing. And it's I last night, as of recording, I made my softball debut, my slow pitch softball
Hey,
debut. And let me tell you, I couldn't have felt more washed up than I felt before than after last night. There was some rust to knock off for sure. We had a tough day at the plate, 0 for 2, knocked in an RBI on a fielder's choice.
there you go. There we go.
Yeah, and we did not pull out the win, but it's our first game. Did not have the full team, to my knowledge. But I do have to give a quick shout out to Papa Ruff, who said he is a avid listener of the show. He loves
Let's
listening to us every
go.
week.
Let's go.
He was on the bump yesterday. He went 6 innings. He gave it his all, and we appreciate him filling in, and we appreciate you listening to the show.
Dude, Papa Ruff, man, I love that guy. He honestly just makes my day a lot better when I see him. I'd love giving a call from him. And great to hear that he's an avid listener.
He, he
Appreciate all our listeners out there.
Exactly. Yeah. He said he listened to us because we talk about what he loves, sports and Marvel. So
Let's
we
go.
definitely
Let's
love that.
go.
But he had to fill in yesterday because we only had 10 players, and in softball you can do four outfielders. Sorry, man. I didn't know. I'm not in charge of the team.
Kind of
Um,
pissed I didn't get a call, man.
Maybe next week, or we'll add you to the group chat as a reserve.
Yeah, it's messed up. I would have taken the ride up to play some softball. I was off yesterday.
Should have. But I mean, Papa Ruff filled in very nicely. He pitched, he hit 10th, and for a while, we were winning the game. Obviously, a couple errors here, a couple walks there. This other team was ridiculous. I feel like it's an unwritten rule to swing the bat. These guys were taking walk after walk. They were looking at pitches. I think in between my three at bats, I looked at one pitch.
I thought you weren't really allowed to walk in softball. I guess here you are.
I mean, yeah, you definitely were. And also, I was catching yesterday, and obviously, catching in softball is a lot less strenuous and thought-provoking than in baseball. I had no gear on. I didn't even have my catcher's glove on. It was an outfielder's glove. And here I am squatting behind home plate, even though you don't have to. I could just stand there because my only goal is to catch the ball and throw it back to the pitcher, really. And then if there's a play at the plate, which there wasn't. But here I am squatting behind home plate, framing pitches that, aren't hitting the ground in softball. And he's not calling them strikes. I'm like, where is this missing? And he's like, oh, you kind of have to let it hit because the strike zone in softball is like right behind home plate. So I'm like, oh, so you don't really have to have anyone back here.
Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah.
What's
So
the point of that? Like, why would they even let you do that? I didn't even know. But the last time I played softball, I feel like it wasn't really a big deal like that. That's wild. This umpire must have just sucked. He just must have just been not fun.
yeah, I mean, he was a little fun, but I was getting just more upset at the other team. I'm like, guys, this is not that
Swing the bat.
serious. It's
Yeah.
softball. I know you're losing, but I mean, I think they had like three consecutive walks. I'm like, are you guys? Because it starts with a 1-1 count,
Yeah.
obviously, but they were looking at 2-3 pitches. I'm like, you guys kidding me? Like it's slow pitch, hit the ball.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah,
Hit the
but
hit the ball oppo, just do something.
yeah, but it definitely lived up to the stereotypical soft pitch softball. I walked by the other team before the game. They were all drinking beers, smoking
Nice,
cigarettes
nice.
and cigars
Let's
and
go.
stuff. So our team
That's
waited till
hype.
after the game to kind of shoot the shit and enjoy some adult beverages. But
Should have been doing it during, man. Should have been doing during.
should
You
have,
weren't doing
should
it
have.
right.
Apparently in this league, it's frowned upon if you're caught. But obviously,
Really?
there's ways around it. Obviously, tequila's clear, as
Tequila's good.
we learned. And such thing as koozies or other bottles you can put it in. But to my knowledge, Casey told me this league you're disqualified if you get caught drinking during the game. I don't know how serious they are about that.
That's tough.
I'm gonna tell you another weird rule, which we didn't run into yesterday, is you're only allowed 5 home runs per team.
What?
You hit more than five as an out. So say you hit that 6 home run, it's just an out.
What?
But I mean, again, there was only 2 home runs hit for the other team, not
But
even ours.
still, like if you're hitting home runs, like what's the issue with that?
I guess you just have to try and hit it. Yeah, I don't understand why you can't hit more than five. I guess so you don't load up on the team of Albert Pujols. But
I've seen leagues where if you hit a home run, it's actually an out.
that's weird too.
I've seen that, but that's like no matter what. Like no matter what, if you hit a home run, it's an out. Like that I understand because at least like this way it's no limit, you know?
Yeah,
But having a limit is kind of wild. I feel like that's kind of bush league because
yeah.
say it's like say each team hits 5 home runs and then I hit a there's 2 outs, man on second, I hit a home run to win.
Uh-huh.
How are you supposed to tell me that that's an out?
Yeah, exactly. Because I was joking yesterday because my swing in softball is so different than my baseball swing. I'm daddy hacks only. I'm dropping that back shoulder. I'm leg kicking. I was swinging for the fences, and I don't think I hit the ball in the air once. I hit the ball on the ground 3 times. I got doubled up too because I hit the ball right at the shortstop. And I told Casey that I'm like, I think my goal is to tear an oblique. Like I'm swinging as hard as I can. He's like, we'll save it, for like bases loaded because we only have 5 home runs. And after he told me that, I went, that rule didn't make sense to me, but that's the rule. But listen, like I said, our team hit none. We had some close calls, but I don't know how close we'll get to hitting five.
Dan Papa Ruff gave up 2 home runs.
He did give up 2 home runs. Umpire was
Damn.
squeezing him a little bit.
That's wild. That's
Umpire
wild.
was squeezing him, so Papa Ruff's like, I gotta throw it down the middle, and I blame the ump. I'm not blaming Papa Ruff. I'm blaming the ump on that one. But I was excited to make my debut, get the first game jitters out of the way, and hopefully I'll have some better reports going forward about
Dude,
how we do.
no, that's awesome, man. I honestly I'm really excited too. Like I think we talked about last time. I'm gonna be playing when I can on Sundays.
Hmm.
Our first game isn't for another week or so. So
Nice.
probably next podcast I'll give my insight about that. But last year when I played once or twice, it is definitely an adjustment,
Oh
going from
yeah.
seeing, you know, fast, on a line pitches to these big droopy,
Yeah,
softballs. But yeah, man, I'm excited to go out there and play, but I can't believe that that's a rule. I just find that so weird.
I know
Five
it's yeah,
five
it's
home
it
run limit.
it doesn't make any sense, and it's so funny too because like you said, the pitch is coming in so slow that it looks like whatever that movie is. I think it's Major League, or no,
Yes,
Rookie of the
yes.
Year. I think it's Rookie of the Year when he's throwing like soft pitches at the end, and that one big
Oh,
batter from the
yes.
Mets is
Yes,
like
that's
licking his lips.
yes.
Like that was me yesterday. I see this big giant green softball coming. I'm like, oh, this baby's going 500 feet, and then I would step, and then everything would just go forward, and I would hit this ball right on the ground to shortstop every single time. So I definitely have to make an adjustment and realize
No,
that,
dude, it's hard. Like
yeah,
when I was like playing baseball, I wouldn't say like I was like a heavy pull hitter. I would say I kind of hit like everything like all around, but like
yeah,
seeing that ball come in so slow, it's so hard to wait on like an outside pitch and take it the
hmm
other way.
yeah.
Like it's just so pull happy because you just want to hit the ball on the barrel and hit as hard as you can.
Oh yeah, you and me were pretty similar. I feel like mostly when
Yeah,
we're on, we hit the other way. So
exactly.
in this, everyone pulled the ball. So I feel
Yeah.
like we have to kind of train our minds to just grip it and rip it.
Yeah, it's so hard, man, because it's like you see the ball and you just start early.
Yeah,
I guess I got to become like a pro vet at softball for me to finally hitting the ball the other way.
I
So
think
stay
so.
tuned.
I
Stay
think yeah.
tuned.
I think the key to it honestly is just drinking before the game, just pre-gaming it, and no
I
think,
think
just
so.
hit
I think
it.
so.
Yeah, yeah. I think that
Don't
I
think,
think
just
that's the
think.
goal. But yeah. So yeah, that's my two-man thought of the week. And if you're interested, I'll keep reporting back on how some weeks go every Tuesday night for the next like 10 weeks.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested. I think we need to keep a tally here, a two-man tally of what your stats end up being at the end of the year.
Sounds good. We definitely will. Right now, we're batting a nice 0-0-0. So
How
easy
many
to
at
keep
bats did
track
you
of that
get?
one.
How
Only
many at
three.
bats? So you got three at bats, so 0-0-0. But
I got
you
an
got
RBI.
one RBI, right?
hmm
Was it a sac fly or a ground
It
ball
was
or
a
sling?
ground ball, fielder's choice.
Nice, nice.
So
Let's go.
that's
I'll
maybe
take
that's over
that.
2. I don't know if that counts as that bad. I don't know how they score
I
that
don't know. I
one.
feel like sac flies are usually really the only thing that you don't get an AB
Yeah, so maybe
for.
it's an 0 for 3.
Yeah, it
Regardless,
might
it's an
be.
over.
Over,
But
over.
yeah, over. But anyway, yeah, so that was my softball experience. But let's talk about some real professional athletes. How about we do that and move over to our next subject? We're going to talk a little bit about the New York sports playoff run so far.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, dude, let's talk about your Rangers, dude. Uh, um, actually amazing to see them, get out of the first round and not only get out of the first round, but absolutely sweep the Capitals. I don't know
Yeah.
about you, but I hate the Capitals.
Oh, yeah.
No offense to our boy Benny
Yeah.
the Jet over there, but working for the Capitals. But seeing them sweep them and Ovechkin, no, not Ovechkin, right? Is it Ovechkin?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alexander. Yeah.
Ovechkin not scoring a single point.
Yeah.
It's awesome
Absolutely.
to see.
Yeah. That's just great because I mean, over the last like 10 plus years of me being a Ranger fan, I mean, we faced him a few times in the playoffs, and I can remember some highlight reel goals that have helped them win games and win series, honestly. So it was definitely good. I know he's up there in age, but he still was able to score 30 goals this year. And, to be able to hold him in check and honestly, just to be able to dominate an entire series was really something to see. I know everyone's going to say, oh, the Capitals had a bad regular season. They snuck in. They barely should be in the playoffs. Like,
Yeah,
woohoo. But like at the end of the day, they're still a professional hockey team that they only led that series for 3 minutes and 20 seconds out of 4 games. I mean,
that's
that's
wild,
complete domination.
dude.
And
Crazy.
yeah, and the Rangers in years past love making series go longer than they should, 6, 7 games for no reason. So for them to go into the first round, take care of business, and relatively stay healthy, I mean that's all you can ask for a first round. And now the real playoffs begin in a sense.
Dude, yeah, man. I'm excited to see with round two. Do we know who they're playing yet?
Yes, yeah. The Hurricanes took care of business last night. They beat
Okay,
the
yeah,
Islanders. So another rematch from 2 years ago. We'll be playing the Carolina Hurricanes again, which is going to be a slugfest and quite the opposite of a dominating series for the Rangers. It's going to be a back and forth tilt.
I'm excited, man, to see some freaking crazy playoff hockey like that. It would have been
Yeah,
cool to see the Islanders. I'm sorry for our fellow friends of Islanders fans, but
yeah.
it would have been cool. It would have been cool, but let's go Rangers, baby. Let's go Rangers.
Yeah, let's go Rangers. I mean, both these teams are pretty evenly matched. I think this series has the potential to go 6 or 7 games for sure. So it's nice that the Rangers have that home ice advantage. Hopefully, they take advantage of it. And we'll just see where it goes. I don't think their series ended last Sunday, and their next game is not until this coming Sunday or Monday. So a week off. We'll have to see how that fares for them. Hopefully that they keep that same intensity and they bring it for round two.
Yeah, man. I hope so, dude. I think they definitely can. Everybody seems to be playing lights out.
Hmm.
Even the third, the lower lines like are playing really, really well.
Yeah,
So not even just the first or second line, it's everyone all around is just playing fantastic hockey.
yeah.
So I'm excited to see how they roll out. And funny thing I was trying to look up while we were talking was uh, the last time that the Rangers won the President's Trophy, I know we
Oh
talked about
yeah,
this the last time,
yeah,
is that they won or the Knicks and the Rangers both was in 94, and
yep.
they both were in a very similar scenario where the Knicks were in the second came in second place in the conference and the
Hmm.
Rangers first with the President's Trophy. And right now it looks like it's continuing on that pace if
Yeah,
the Knicks can sneak it out and get to the conference finals.
yeah.
But
Did you
maybe
see?
both of
Did
those won early better. What was that?
yeah. No, did we talk about those comparisons last week?
I think we
It's
touched upon it,
Yeah, it
but
was it was yeah, it was the Knicks finished second, the Rangers finished
yep,
first. There was an eclipse that year in '94.
that's crazy.
There was an earthquake, which I it might be more specific, like an earthquake on the East Coast, which is obviously not is kind of rare. And then the
Yeah.
big storyline of '94 was OJ, the chase and
Yes.
everything. And
And OJ just
OJ
died.
just died. And then the crazier one to add to that, which we definitely didn't touch on because I just found out after they won, was in 1994 when the Rangers went on their cup run. Their first round against the Islanders, they swept the Islanders.
Oh shit.
So I would love if history would repeat itself in the Rangers. I know the Knicks didn't finish their job that season, but I would love if the Rangers could finish that
Dude,
line. It's
yo,
it's creepy. I try not to get excited by this stuff, but I mean some of those similarities are crazy.
I mean that's crazy. I mean they do say that history tends to repeat itself.
That's
So,
what I'm
I mean,
saying.
I would be absolutely thrilled
Oh yeah,
if we can end up sneaking something out like that, dude. I
yeah.
like it would be
My
absolutely amazing.
Yeah, my biggest fear though, this is just a selfish thing, is I'm trying to grow out a playoff beard to match the Rangers for as long as they go.
No,
So
really?
I shaved the day before their first game, and I'm only a week in, and I already want to shave it so bad. And
Don't you fucking do it.
knock on
I
wood.
swear.
I know,
Don't you
knock on wood.
freaking dare.
I wouldn't. I'm committing to the bit, but knock on wood. If the Rangers were to make it just to the first game of the Stanley Cup, that's not till June 8th. Game one is June 8th. That's another month away. That would be 2 months of me not shaving.
That's awesome. I can't wait to see how long it gets.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I hope they make it too selfishly because I'm gonna commit. I can't shave. They won the first round. I would blame myself if they lost round two. So
We're on two-man Tyler Beard watch right now.
yeah, this
I
thing
want
looks
I want
shorter.
I want you measuring every morning to see how far it's gone.
Yeah, I'll put it on the mirror with like a dry erase marker and just like show it going down. I like that idea.
No, that's hilarious, dude. I would pay to watch that. I'd
I'll do it. I'll do it.
keep weekly updates on the two-man podcast Instagram. That'd be hilarious.
I definitely will. I definitely will.
Yeah, dude, but dude, let's go Rangers. Let's talk about your experience going to watch them at Stout. I know we talked about it last episode. So, let's just talk about how much we freaking love that place, man. So you had actually a little bit different experience that I
Yep.
had at Stout. So, walk us through it, Tyler.
Yeah, sure. So me and Carl just missed paths. I'm sure he'll talk about his experience the day before because he went to go see a Knicks game.
That's good news.
at Stout, which was great. But yeah, so I was in the city to see Billy Joel with Taylor and her mom. Her mom bought her tickets for her birthday, and I luckily got to be added as a plus one. So we got to see Billy Joel, and that was Friday for Game 3 of the Rangers Capitals series. And I was repping, had the Rangers shirt on. I was ready to just get like alerts during the concert and stuff. And we were out to dinner. Our friend Dan called us, saw my location, and said, stop by Stout before the game. Concert wasn't until 8. It was like 6:30. Game started at 7. I'm like, all right, maybe I can catch like 15 minutes because Stout, for everyone who hasn't been there, 10 minutes less, 5 seconds.
Less 5 seconds. Yeah.
Yes, 10 minutes way off. 5 seconds away from the garden. Like you see it from the front door of Stout. It's right there. And yeah, I mean, I've never been to Stout for a playoff hockey game, or during it at least. I've been there before, and yeah, it's electric. Everyone in their Ranger jerseys, like they're going to a game.
Yeah.
They played Bob O'Reilly right before they came out on the ice, and then they cut the music and they have Sam and Joe. You can hear the broadcast over the speakers and stuff, and everyone's there for the game. But I think the craziest part of the entire thing was I got to see a goal and Zibanejad tied it. And all of a sudden, I see just the bartenders just lining up shots.
Yes,
I'm like,
yes,
I'm like,
dude.
oh my God, they're doing shots. And luckily, Dan and Hallie were telling me, they're like, oh yeah, every time the Rangers score a goal, they just give out free shots. And it was like
Yeah, dude, it's
it was
electric.
vodka and blue curacao. It tasted delicious.
Oh
And
my
I was like,
God.
this is every time the Rangers score a goal. They're like, every time they score a goal and every time like they win, everyone gets free shots. I'm like, I'm coming here for the rest of my life for Ranger games. Like
It's
it was,
amazing,
and it
dude.
worked out so well for me. I was like, I get to see a goal, get a shot, and then go to Billy Joel. And it
Oh
was,
my God.
I was like, I'm living the dream right now. So
You're
I,
you're
I
getting
was, yeah,
you're getting free shots before you hit to pay fucking an arm and a leg in MSG for
L-
fucking alcohol.
dude,
So,
literally,
oh, that's all. That's amazing.
yeah.
That's
And I was,
awesome.
I was literally about to leave. Oh, I left Stout to go to the concert because it was like 7:30 now, and literally the
Yeah.
Rangers scored again as I left. And I was
Oh,
like,
let's
oh,
go.
I was so te-
Oh, I
I was
just
so
missed
tempted to
it.
run back. I was like, I need that shot. I need that shot. I need that shot. But I'm like, no, no, no. We can pass. But yeah, anyone who has never been to Stout, I recommend going for a New York playoff game at some point because, especially the Rangers, they give out free shots. I don't know if you had any similar experience for the Knicks. I don't know if maybe every 50 points they give out a shot
That
or
would be
what.
sick, man.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, no, it's not the same. That's why I think like there's no better like place to watch a Ranger game,
Mm.
than Stout
Yeah.
because, you do get those free shots when they score. But the Knicks game was honestly my first time I went to Stout for a Knicks game, just as electric, if not,
Yeah.
very, very, very close. It was cool because again, like you said, everybody's wearing Knicks gear. And if anything, I feel like the bar was more packed than when I've been to a Ranger game
Yeah.
because just, the amount of love that people have
Oh, of
for the
course.
Knicks in New York City is just absolutely ridiculous. Like,
Hmm.
I don't know what it is, man. It's just like New York basketball is just built different. Like people
Yeah.
just come out of the woodworks for anything.
Oh, yeah.
I was wearing my custom Mellow jersey where I have
Nice.
Mellow on the back instead of, Anthony. And dude, mad people were like seeing me at the bar and they're like, yo, that's a fire jersey. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
thanks. I was like, I got this thing in the seventh grade and somehow it still fits me.
Here
So
we are in 2024 and it's repping.
yeah, yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, no, it was awesome, man. You hear the guys on the speakers, they put in, uh freaking Clyde, and Clyde and the boys.
Clyde and Mike
Uh
Breen, I believe.
Clyde and
Mike
Mike
Breen,
Breen,
yeah.
yeah, dude. I love listening to them. I think they're two of my favorite announcers
Oh, yeah.
in New York sports. I think they're like my second favorite duo. It's the trio of Keith, Ron, and Gary is my number one.
Of course.
And I think they've got to be my number two.
Sure.
They got some iconic calls, and I love when Clyde goes, they're swishing, he always like rhymes, dude.
Oh, yeah. He's
What's he say?
spinning and winning, swishing and
Yes,
dishing.
yeah, swishing and dishing,
Yeah.
and he's like, they're contagious, outrageous.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's my favorite thing, dude. I'm like, I'm gonna make a drinking game whenever they like say something like that rhymes, you have to
Yeah,
drink.
they're full of life.
Yeah. Awesome though. But hearing that through the speakers,
Oh yeah.
and unfortunately no free shots, but it was absolutely electric. That game too, Embiid had a controversial foul that was clearly a flagrant two.
Oh
But
yeah.
they didn't decide to call it a flagrant two. They just called it a flagrant one. Like Embiid was on the ground and he like grabbed Mitchell's legs that ended up making him miss, game four.
Yeah.
So it was a freaking BS call because this was game three,
Yeah.
and the fuck Embiid champs were
Yeah.
going heavy, and it was electric, dude. It was like I felt like I was in the stadium. It was
Yeah.
awesome, but yeah, Stout's electric. Definitely my go-to place. I'm gonna definitely try and go for at least my goal is another 2 to 3 times.
Yeah.
Throughout the playoff series. So hopefully I can get a chance to go into the next series that each one of them have.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, we definitely have to try, and I was just about to say the same thing. We have to try and get there together because I know we
yes,
just missed each
100%.
other. I didn't plan on going on Friday. I know you tried to get me there Thursday. I couldn't go. But yeah, with the Rangers being in the second round, and fingers crossed, hopefully the Knicks can prevail. I know we just wanted to touch on quickly. We're not going to talk about the Knicks series too much yet because as of recording, it's not over. Last night was Tuesday, Game 5, one that me and Carl still less than 24 hours after the game have not recovered from. Tyrese
Heartbroken.
Maxey ripped our hearts out.
Hmm.
They blew a game that should have been theirs because of really their own fault for not hitting free throws. But that's the beauty of being up 3-1 in the series. You got to try and just get that next one. So,
Yeah, man, it's upsetting because that was a game I feel like we kind of just threw away.
mhm,
I think I talked about this with you not on the pod, but I think in game four, I think we kind of stole that one. So I think this might have
mhm,
kind of been a little bit of revenge from Philly.
sure.
But it's sad that we couldn't get that clinching at home. I want to
Mhm.
see them win it in six. I don't want it to go to that game seven.
No, please.
That game five ending was killer. I
Mhm.
knew as soon as Josh Hart missed those free throws, that it was going to be really, really tough to stop Maxi from hitting that three.
Yeah.
And even the guys on the broadcast, like Clyde was saying, that they just had one freaking job. It was to not have them shoot a three.
Yeah.
But it's a lot harder in the NBA nowadays to do than you have in your mind because of all the rules and different plays that they have, and
Mhm.
it's such an offensive heavy league. Even if they did try and stop that three, I mean, he
Yeah.
ended up being wide open. He found a weak spot in the defense
Yep.
to shoot that three from half court and it goes
Yeah.
in. You just got to tip your cap to Maxi there. He won the most improved player. He's been showing why he's one of the best guards in the league right now.
Yep. Yep.
Um, so it's crazy, man. But one thing that I think we do have going for us is that Knicks fans travel really well.
They do.
Embiid was fucking pissed at how many Knicks fans were at game four,
Yeah.
and that apparently Knicks fans took over the stadium.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the videos of them, chanting the FMB chants,
Oh my God. Yeah.
in Philly's own stadium.
That can't feel good.
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, dude, the amount of real estate that we he owns in our heads
Yeah.
and we own in
It's
his
mutual.
is ridiculous. It's
We got
definitely
mutual
mutual.
ownership. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because he then came out and called out Phillies fans for, not being there enough to support the team, which I think is, it's hard because I feel like a lot of New Yorkers just bought those tickets because they knew that, a game four was going to happen.
Mhm.
So people buy those tickets because those are probably the cheapest tickets you possibly can get because the average ticket price there is like around like $150 for the cheapest ticket.
Yeah.
I think it's the cheapest ticket for game five at MSG was $467.
Yeah, exactly. It for the ticket and travel to be less than just going to one game at Madison Square Garden, I wouldn't mind driving or even taking a train for a couple hours to go to Philly for a much cheaper ticket and the same basketball experience. Yeah, you're in enemy
Yeah.
territory, but like you said, New York fans travel well, and I highly anticipate they're going to travel well for Game 6, and Game 6 takes place last night as of recording. So hopefully
So hopefully we won.
Hopefully we won.
Yeah.
Game six being at 9 p.m. is criminal. That has to be talked about.
Yeah,
Um,
why did they do that?
I don't know why they gave an East Coast teams the 9 p.m. start, but let's hope we both stayed up, and let's hope you guys watching this means we won. That would
Yeah,
be ideal.
exactly. That is like crazy. You think they did do that to increase Western viewership on like the later games?
I don't know what happened there because I saw that the Milwaukee Bucks have the 6:30 time slot because they want to separate all the games so everyone nationally watches all the
Ah,
games. But the oh no, it's in Indiana, but they're an hour behind.
yeah, they're an hour behind. So if you start at 9, the game still starts at 8 for them.
Yeah, so I don't know why that happened that way, but listen, we're just gonna have to deal with it and hope we stay up for a good reason.
Yeah, man. Let's go Knicks and let's
Yeah,
just ball out. Let's just ball. Brunson's a freaking dog, dude. I honestly have
yeah,
so much respect for that guy.
yeah.
He's going in, he's getting hurt, Embiid's freaking fouling him,
Just
elbowing
slamming him
him.
in the head every time.
Yeah, getting his eye poked out. He's
Yeah,
putting his body on the line for New York, man. And dude, he's the man. I also love after he does something and they cut to his dad because his dad's one of the coaches.
yeah.
One of my favorite things, man. It must be such a cool experience, like having your dad, like not just in the stadium, but on the
Hmm.
sideline with you.
Yeah,
Must be such a cool experience, and you'd be like literally the best player on the team right now.
yeah.
Must be surreal, dude. So awesome.
Exactly, but yeah, we hope this team can get it done, and we'll definitely talk about it in the future. Let's go
Yeah,
Knicks.
man. Let's go Knicks. Hopefully we're saying it for a good reason. Hopefully,
Hopefully,
by the time you guys are listening to this, hopefully the Knicks won. So let's go
hopefully,
Knicks, and we wish the Rangers good luck as well. Let's go Rangers, baby.
exactly.
Uh, 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 uh.
Jesus. Anyway, enough of that. We'll get to our next subject, next topic, which is staying in the sports world. We're gonna go recap a little bit about our New York sports and the NFL draft that just passed. I don't know how much of the draft you were able to watch, Carl, because I think it was the same night as the Knicks game, right, at Stout.
Yeah, yeah, it was really cool. I mean, I didn't get to hear a lot of the commentary while I
Hmm.
was there, but they did have it on at the
Oh,
bar.
good.
So it was cool. I was watching the Nick game, and then you had the NFL draft. It was a big, big thing going on there. So it was pretty cool that we did get to see both, because if you
Hmm.
watch it at home, you kind of have to flip through channels,
Yeah.
if you're just watching it on one TV. It was nice here. It didn't really have to like turn my head or anything. The Knicks game was here, and
Awesome.
then the draft was right there. It was pretty awesome. I felt bad for Dan. Dan had to kind of put it on his phone because he was in a bad spot at the seat we were, so we
No,
couldn't see
tough.
the other one. There was like a pole blocking it.
Tough.
But I was in a great spot, so I can't complain. But yeah, man, I really thought this year's NFL draft lived up to all the hype.
Yeah.
All the quarterbacks that everybody talked about leading up to got drafted.
Yep.
Some got drafted in weird spots.
Yep.
Um, some teams came up and picked them.
Yep.
Um, I am very happy to say that the Giants did not take one of them. I
Yeah.
was really scared. I was really, really hoping that no matter what they did, that they didn't take a quarterback
Sure.
because I felt like it was kind of a stretch.
Hmm.
Because I don't know if this was me and you talking about it, but I think I saw a report saying that if Brian Dable doesn't have a very good year this year again, they're gonna get rid of him.
Yeah.
And the main reasoning behind drafting a quarterback was because they wanted to like Dable wanted to draft his guy, and like technically Daniel Jones wasn't like
I
his
see.
draft pick.
Yeah.
So like, so then I would have thought it would have been stupid if he's like on the hot seat right now.
Hmm.
You have Dable pick a quarterback, and then you get a new coach. It's
Yeah.
kind of like you're in the same situation again where the coach
True.
coming in isn't getting his quarterback that he wanted. So I
Hmm.
think you just ride it out with Jones. You pick a better team around it, and just hopefully the team plays well.
Yeah.
But um, happy the Giants ended up taking Malik Neighbors.
Mm.
That was a really good pick. I don't know if he looks very happy to be in New York,
No, he
but
hasn't.
he has not looked very happy at all. But I think that'll change, and New York is a great city. I think the Giants are going to do great right by him. They're going to pay him the money he wants.
Hmm.
He's going to end up loving it, even if Daniel Jones isn't the quarterback he necessarily wanted to be with. I think he has the
Hmm.
potential to be that guy. He's showed glimpses of it.
Hmm.
But I'm happy. I'm happy to see the Giants make a good pick, and you're Jets did a good job. They traded back a pick with the Vikings, or
Yeah.
the Vikings traded up with the Jets, and then
Yeah.
they've just kind of flip-flop picks.
Mm.
But how was your feeling on that? That you guys didn't do the same thing, drafting the next Zach Wilson.
Yeah, it was pretty poetic that we traded away our pick to move back so that the Vikings can get their next Zach Wilson. Um, but yeah, no, I know a lot of Jets fans were upset because it wasn't the flashy pick with Brock Bowers still being available. I know that was a heavy favorite in terms of betting odds.
Yeah,
And you just think about what Brock Bowers could have been in that offense that they've already reloaded this offseason. But I think the line is just as important as anything else. Obviously, I was a little upset too because it wasn't the flashiest move, but I'm not as upset as most Jets fans saying it was a waste of a pick. Their guy was, they wanted the guy Rome Odunze from Washington, the wide receiver.
yep,
He went at 9, and they realized, that was their pretty much 1, 2, and kind of 3 focus with Bowers. And one of their biggest needs last year was offensive line. They had so many freak injuries, so many injuries that hurt that offensive
yeah,
line that I have no problem with them drafting a guy from Penn State. He'll be taking some starting reps. He can move around the line, and it's just good to have guys like that in case someone goes down. He can fill in and stuff like that because I just think their tight end room is good enough already.
yeah.
Tyler Conklin at 1, Jeremy
Conklin, he's a
Ruckert at
beast.
2, and they have this guy at 3 that Aaron Rodgers is pretty high on that he's been working with already in the tight end room. So, I
Yeah,
mean, that's all you really care about is what the quarterback, who he wants to throw to. If he thinks he has all the weapons he wants to throw to already, you just got to listen. So I wasn't upset with that. They also got another receiver in the 3rd round. They traded up a little bit to get their guy and even another backup running back. So they filled a lot of holes that they had to fill, and I'm excited.
yeah, man, dude, I'm excited too. I think both teams did a really good job. I was excited for the Jets too because I feel like that was partially the reason kind of why Rodgers got hurt. I mean, the his Achilles blew out. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah,
But you your guy's coming off a major injury,
yeah,
even though he's literally a freak of nature and he came back
hmm
faster than anybody ever has before because
yeah,
he believes in all this other outside medicine because he's
yeah,
the
yeah,
man.
yeah,
But I think it's good, to assure that you have another guy out there that can
oh yeah,
protect it. And it helps in the running game, helps in the passing game. That's why, these teams that are really good stay really good is because they have consistent and good O line. So depth just adds to that. So good pick overall, in my
yeah.
opinion.
And I think just two quick funny points actually about the draft picks they took. You kind of just talked about protecting Aaron Rodgers coming off the injury. The backup running back they took, which when you think about running backs, you really just think, how well can they catch and how well can they run. But something I think that gets forgotten is pass blocking. And
Yes.
the guy that they drafted, Braylon Allen, I believe he's from Wisconsin. Don't quote me. He looks like a freak of nature. I saw a picture of him. There's a video of him deadlifting 405 very cleanly, very easily.
That's
And
sick.
he posted a picture just like flexing, and he's like, "I'm gonna make sure Aaron Rodgers can play 10 more years." And I'm like, "That's exactly what you have to do, sir. Those third down, passing downs,
Please,
you have
yep.
to block that defensive lineman or that blitz coming off the edge. We need you." So
That's awesome.
yeah,
I hope he makes that. That's amazing, dude. I love that.
exactly. And the funniest thing I also heard was obviously the Mr. Irrelevant pick is the last pick of the NFL draft. They hype it up
Yes.
so much in football,
Mhm.
especially. They give you like a trip to Disney, a car these last few years. Like they make it a huge spectacle. And the Jets had the Mr. Irrelevant pick. And apparently
No way. I didn't know
yes.
that.
So a couple teams were trying to trade for that pick, but didn't want to trade it away. Not really because they had a player in mind, but because because they just debuted their new jerseys and it's this huge spectacle where you get to show off the jersey and the logo that they wanted to keep it so they could have this big
The jersey
national,
sales.
yeah, jersey sales. And just seeing, because they have the jersey that says, Mr. Irrelevant on the back of this Jets jersey. So now when you hear the story about, oh, who was the 2024 Mr. Irrelevant, you'll see the brand new Jet jersey. So it was almost like a
That's
marketing
crazy
scheme.
marketing. That's crazy
Yeah.
marketing right there.
I mean, listen,
We should
I
learn
loved
from
it.
them.
I,
We should learn from them. We should get two-man jerseys and say Mr. Irrelevant.
I think so. I think that's a great idea. That's next merch drop. We'll get right on that.
Oh yeah, 100%, dude. Yeah, that's awesome though. But was there any draft picks besides our team's draft picks?
Hmm.
Was there any kind of draft picks that in the first round, second round, whatever round it was, that
Hmm.
kind of surprised you in any way?
Well, I think it's hard not to just, you don't want to listen, you want to be a follower, not a leader, but I'm following everybody in the media talking about it so far. The Michael Penix pick just did not make sense to me at the Falcons at 7 or 8. I
Yeah,
forgot
no, it
where
was
it was. It
crazy.
was top 10, but yeah, not because I don't think Michael Penix will be good. I was pretty high on him. I know we've talked only good things about him, saying he should have gone before McCarthy, which he did, and even
Yep.
some of the guys in the top three because he was projected so late. But I think he'll be good. But for it to come in the same offseason that you just signed Kirk Cousins for 4 years, $180 million, it didn't make sense to draft him so high. It's like those two moves, if you look about it, is like two different philosophies. And
Yeah.
it puzzled me, and like it puzzled the rest of the NFL world.
Yeah, I think the craziest report to kind of honestly come out of that whole thing was that it's not even like the Falcons told Kirk that was like, hey, like we're
Yeah.
like before going into the draft, like it's not like they're like, hey, like we are high on three guys.
Hmm.
Like if you say like we're high on a receiver, we're high on a an O lineman, and we're also high on a quarterback because we're also looking into the future, you
Yeah.
know. Even if you tell them that before the draft happens, I think that's fine.
Yeah.
The fact that they called him while they were on the clock, they called Kirk Cousins to let him know. Okay, yeah, now that's kind of like secondhand, like it's like you're like, okay, we don't want to make this piss him off, so it's an afterthought. It's
Yeah.
like
It's
you're
like
gonna
pity.
piss the
Yeah.
guy off anyway,
It was
you
a pity
know?
call.
It was a pity call, yeah, 100%. Um, I thought that was ridiculous, dude. Like
Yeah.
I was like, what? I don't know, but the fact that he found out after, I think Kirk Cousins is completely in the right to be upset with that.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I found it interesting though because the Falcons did come out and kind of give their reasoning to why they took him was
Hmm.
that like they say in the draft, no matter what position it is, you should take whoever is best available on the board.
Sure.
And for them at number seven, Michael Penix was number seven for them on the board. So they're like,
Hmm.
we're going to take the best player on the board at that spot because you
Sure.
never know what's going to happen. In
Fair.
that retrospect, I understand that.
Hmm.
I just, like you said, I just don't see how you go out and you pay a guy for, 4 years, 180 million, and
Hmm.
then you just go out and draft another quarterback. Because I mean, like we said, I was excited to see maybe Penix maybe fall to the second round and like
Hmm.
another team that needs a quarterback that didn't want to draft him in the first round, pick him as like, a backup. Like I
Yeah.
would have loved to see a team like the Giants who you don't like personally, I didn't want to see them pick a quarterback in the first round, but if one of those
Hmm.
guys falls to the second round, you,
Yeah.
you know, good on
Well,
you.
exactly. Like we've talked in the past about how I think the new thing in the NFL is a lot of these guys are drafted, especially quarterback wise, and they're expected to immediately fit into the system and immediately
Yeah.
lead this team to the promised land. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, all these guys like they get drafted and immediately they're Mac Jones, they're expected to produce. I mean, those are just a few of
Yeah.
the last few years. Um, but if you look at the guys like, Jordan Love behind Rodgers, Rodgers behind Favre, Patrick Mahomes behind Alex Smith, I mean, granted, those are better teams, better franchises. But, so I see the thing about sitting behind a franchise quarterback for a year or two. But the difference here is those quarterbacks were already on those teams as franchise quarterbacks.
Exactly.
Kirk
I
Cousins
agree.
and Michael Penix are both experiencing the Falcons team for the first year at the same year. So it didn't
Yeah.
make much sense to me. And the crazier part, which someone told me, is a lot of those guys like Love and Mahomes when they came in were younger. For Penix, he's an older rookie. I think he's 24.
Yeah, he's literally your age or our age. He's like the
Yeah.
same age as us. I think he was born
So
in 99.
yeah, so for him to say sit behind, say Kirk Cousins plays all 4 years, say he sits there for 4 years, 28. I mean, you still could be in the prime of your career, but then what's the point of having a top 10 pick if he's just going to sit there for 4 years? It didn't make much sense to me.
Nah, really does not make much sense, honestly. Um, that really shook me,
Hmm.
surprised me, and it'd be interesting to see what happens because
Yeah.
uh, a lot of people too were like, you just get Kirk Cousins, who just is coming off a crazy injury. He
Yeah.
also, ruptured his Achilles.
He did.
So he's coming off an Achilles injury and he's in his mid 30s, you
Hmm.
know. And you have Penix who has also had injury problems in the past. So it's like you just signed two quarterbacks to be onto your roster that have major injury history,
Hmm.
which is wild. But I did like Penix's response though, because he came out with a letter that was released apparently to the rest of the NFL owners and GMs,
Okay.
that because a big question going in was his health. He did say that was like, listen, I understand that like my health is an issue, but he's
Hmm.
like, don't you think it's more of a problem if somebody has never had injuries? you know?
Wow. Okay.
So it's like he was like, think about it. He's like, I've had injuries and then I've come back, and if anything, I've come back better and I've played better than when I didn't have the injury. So
Yeah.
he's like, if I do get injured, that I could come back and play at a high level.
Fair.
I was like, that was a great response. I've never seen somebody kind of respond like that, because it's usually like, okay, you've had injuries in the past. It's kind of just a burden you have to take like the whole time.
Yeah.
But I think that was an answer that definitely, maybe had the Falcons be like, you know what, you're right, because
Yeah.
Kirk's been hurt before, but like this is an extreme injury and he's
Hmm.
older, so who knows if he's gonna come back. And I'm pretty sure that his contract's only guaranteed 2 years. I think there's a clause where like after two
Okay.
years, money's not guaranteed for Kirk.
Sure.
So maybe they end up trading him and whatever, but I guess it's just insurance for them. But I don't know. I thought the Bo Nix draft so high was also a wild one as well.
Outrageous. Outrageous. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who ended up taking him? Was it
The Broncos.
the Broncos, which I thought was on another wild one as well.
Yeah, that's just I agree. I mean, the Zach Wilson era is quickly over in Denver before it even started, it seems like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he was gonna start there regardless, though.
I don't know who would have started over him. They have their whole quarterback room is just backups.
Yeah,
So, I mean, it would have been a competition, but now they just added yet another person to the competition.
and a lot of people I've seen about Bo Nix think that he's not going to be better than a backup QB. So it's like you got a
Yeah.
bunch of backups in that room now. And I
Yeah.
guess you got to have one backup, trying to compete to be the
Yeah,
starter. So it should be
Bo
interesting to see.
Bo Nix would have been all right to learn as a project. I mean, he's another older rookie. I think he's like
Yeah,
24, 25. But yeah, that one didn't make sense. I know, like I think Knicks and Penix were, you know, looked like they were going to get drafted late first round, early second round. And for them, I think so many people panicked because obviously all the quarterbacks went like in the top 12 picks. And all the offense was going. I think this they broke a record this draft for most offensive players in the first round with like
wow,
23 or 24.
wow.
Um, so I think the Broncos just panicked with that move. Not that he might not turn out good, but that one just didn't make sense either.
No, it didn't make sense. Yeah, that one shook me. Another one was Joe Alt to the Chargers. I could have sworn Joe Alt, or they were gonna take the Chargers were gonna take another receiver,
Hmm.
to kind of help out Herbert over there. But he was a very highly respected and sought out, offensive lineman. So I thought that was a decent pick. A lot of people kind of, shrugged at the idea.
Hmm.
But kind of just to go offhand of that just popped into my head. You see all the like memes that people are talking about this white cornerback that got drafted,
Cooper DeJean, man, yeah,
Cooper
yeah.
DeJean. Yeah,
There's a lot of memes around that he's gonna break the color barrier in football because anyone who doesn't watch football too much, there have not been too many. They just talked about this on the New Heights podcast I was listening to. Uh,
oh
there have
really?
there have not been too many well-known white defensive backs, specifically cornerbacks, in the league over the past years. So everyone, the memes are out there because Cooper DeJean looks like he could be that next guy who's finally a good white cornerback.
Dude, I saw a comment where a reporter like legitimately asked him, They were like,
Did they?
"So, do you think that your role is going to change at all since you're white and there hasn't been a white like defensive back in a while?"
That's a
I was like,
crazy
"What
question.
the frick
That's
kind of
a crazy
commentary or like
question.
what kind of journalism is going on here, dude?"
Yeah.
I was like, "This sounds like some run-of-the-mill podcast journalism." No, this was a real freaking journalist asking him this question.
Jesus.
He had a great answer. He was like, no matter where they put me, I'm just gonna try and ball out.
Good man. Good
I
man.
thought that was a really good answer.
Yeah.
But should be really exciting to see him because I did see the clip of the New Heights podcast saying the last white cornerback was actually a New York Giant.
Wow.
In 2004. Sorry, I'm blanking on his name right now,
Hmm.
guys. But he was the last white cornerback. So it should be really interesting to see how that
It's
works.
it's gonna be a funny storyline. The memes are gonna write themselves for sure. I
Oh
did
yeah,
forget about that. He
100%.
dropped to the Eagles somehow. Honestly, a lot of people
Yes,
thought he was gonna
yes.
be a first round pick. So yeah, there were a lot of interesting moves that were and weren't made in the draft. Excited to see how a lot of them play out. I mean, the storylines will be there up until the season starts in September.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. In other news as well in NFL before we move on to our next topic,
Hmm.
I just want to congratulate, with speaking of the New Heights podcast, Travis Kelsey just signed a 2-year extension. So we got, one Jason Kelsey retiring this year. So,
Yep.
um, but it's good to see that we still have another Kelsey for 2 more years,
Hmm.
kicking and still being the best tight end in the league.
Yep.
And I'm sure that somebody is also going to be very happy to go to games, and that is Taylor Swift. So I'm sure the NFL is going to be super happy to make sure they continue to cover
For
some
two
Taylor
more
Swift
years.
content.
Oh yeah, it's not just 2 more years of Travis. It's at least 2 more years of Taylor Swift. That's if that relationship keeps going for sure. And I'm sure she'll be
Exactly.
a little excited that he's making a little bit more money, even though she is worth a billions and billions of dollars.
No, exactly, exactly. I also do think, as much as I love their relationship together, did you see their content at Coachella?
Their content.
Like, did you see like people videoing them, like them being like
Oh
right next to each
yeah,
other
I
at
mean,
Coachella?
kind of. Yeah, I didn't pay attention to it too much.
Yeah, I just saw like one video and it just like made me cringe.
Oh,
Um, like as much as I love them together, it just looked like they were just, I don't know, in a high school relationship, like him just like grinding on her, or her grinding on him, not the other way around. Ooh.
what is
Uh,
going on?
yeah, her grinding on him like during the concert, just like holding hands, like being like super like schmoopy. I just
Sounds
thought it was
sounds
like super
sounds like a
cringe.
relationship. Sounds like they're in a new relationship and they're just loving each other. I'm not seeing too much wrong with this. I don't know what's going on here, man,
I
but
don't know. It must be the single guy in me, you know. I just thought it was
I
super
I'm not
cringeworthy.
saying I'm not gonna say anything about it, but I didn't hear anything too wrong. I don't know. I don't know. That sounded like they were just having a good time, but
One funny thing was she was wearing a New Heights hat, and
yep.
apparently it fucking sold out instantly because
Yep.
every Swiftie saw that she was wearing it. They're like, I need that hat.
Oh yeah, exactly, exactly. So I mean, let that transition quickly into our next topic since we're talking about Taylor Swift. She did drop an album, dropped a double album, surprise double album, which was
That was wild. Wild.
absolutely bonkers. I know these Swifties are able to somehow take words and emojis and all this stuff, and most of them thought another album was coming, or just some vault tracks or something. But a lot of them knew something was coming at 2 a.m., which I have no idea how. That's for the Swifties to tell us one day. We'll get it. We'll get one of them on the show. Um, but yeah, so her
We
her
need one
album
of them on
came
the show.
her album came out at midnight. It was like 17 songs, and then for that listening experience, that basically took you to like 2 a.m. or like 1:30, and then all of a sudden, like you're like, oh, time to go to bed. Boom, you got like not just another 4 or 5 songs, you got another album, you got another like 17
Another
songs.
15, 17 songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, ridiculous.
So I've been listening to it quite a bit. Me and Taylor have been listening to it quite a bit. But what are some of your thoughts? I don't know how much you listened to it right off the bat.
I want to say I listened to like the first album. I haven't listened to the second double album.
Yeah.
But I thought it was good. I was very highly anticipating the Post Malone Taylor Swift, collab.
Yeah,
I thought that song was really going to be the song of the summer. I
yeah.
think it is a good song, but it did kind of let me down a little bit. I really thought it was going to be a little bit more, poppy. Um, but it's still very catchy. I still
Oh
see
yeah,
myself being
it's
like,
very catchy.
it was a fortnight
I
there we were.
exactly. Every time I'm like, this song's not that great, and I listen to it, and it's in my head. I think AI and TikTok kind of ruined that song for a lot of people
Yes,
because
I think so
I was
too.
hearing
Yeah.
like snippets of it. I'm like, I hope it sounds like this, and it didn't. So I think it obviously like or the bar was set way too high. Unfortunately, not their fault. It's a great song still, but I had
Yeah.
a similar idea.
Yeah, no, but there's a couple of songs I really like on it.
Yeah.
I just I honestly am just excited to just see where she goes with like her career and stuff because it's like she puts out music and then she goes on another tour and it's like,
Hmm.
is she ever gonna stop, man? Like
Yeah.
she's just freaking crazy and I can't get over it. It was funny because like I wouldn't consider myself a big Swiftie fan, but
Hmm.
after us talking about it, and stuff stuff pops up on my feed.
Oh yeah.
And I was talking about it with the boys and Billy's girlfriend Cassie and I was like, Cassie, like you a big Swiftie fan? She's like, oh no, not really. And I was like, yeah, like me neither. And then like I talk about it, I was like, yeah, like this one line in the song, apparently she's talking about Jake Gyllenhaal. I was like, this other
Yeah.
line in the song, apparently she's talking about like Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, and this like other crazy thing and this other word. And then Steve goes, are you sure you're not a Swiftie? And I was like, it does
Dude.
sound very, very. I was like, I have said that I'm a Swiftie. I wouldn't consider myself,
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
the stereotypical Swiftie.
Hmm.
But with my For You page recently, I think that I think I'm leaning towards it now. It's crazy.
You might be. It's so funny, like, because like I listened to it the first time through by myself, and I was like, I need to listen to it with Taylor because I'm definitely missing. I'm not paying attention to
Yeah.
the words too much. Like, I'm there for a catchy song, but I
Hmm.
listened back with it to her again because it was her second time listening as well, and she was like covering her mouth. She's like, oh my God, like that's about so and so, or that's about his boyfriend. That's I'm like, how is that even possible? But like,
How do you know this?
you have to know the lore of like what went on in their relationships, and you have to know
Oh,
about her exes, and you have to know about what happened here. And it's just like, I'm like, this is too exhausting for me personally, but I'm glad you're here to fill me in because I know there was two songs about Travis Kelsey.
yes, yes.
The one song, speaking of, I know we talked about diss tracks recently. Taylor Swift went in on what can only be assumed as Kim Kardashian. Fire song.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. After
Mm-hmm.
years and years after the VMAs. Good for you, Taylor. Fucking give it to Kim K, man. But yeah, I thought it was good. Obviously, like a lot of them, I think are honestly just like sound stupid, but just too smart for us. They're very thought
Yes.
provoking.
No, 100%.
There's nothing wrong with that, but we just love the catchy tunes and catchy songs. We don't really dig deep into these songs, but I think to everyone else they were beautiful. Not that it wasn't to me. I loved them. I think they were great. I listened to it probably daily on my ride, both albums. So
That's honestly such a really good point is to be like why probably honestly guys like not I wouldn't say like that it's like I mean relatively her music is mostly for women, but I would
mm,
understand that's probably why guys like aren't as into it is because you're right, like it's very thought provoking and
yeah,
like you really have to know the lore like behind all her lyrics.
yeah,
Like for me personally, if you're singing about, like some boom bat shit, like when I listen to Logic or you're rapping or dissing someone like
yeah,
Drake,
yeah.
know,
Easier.
or
Yeah,
and then I'm listening to country when you're talking about some girl you met last night or the
yeah, yeah,
tractor
yeah.
that you lost, like that's it.
They
Those I
she
just hope that's what
he
I'm looking
lays
for.
it out so beautiful. They all lay it out so
They all look it up.
beautifully. Hers is
Hmm.
like you're reading like an English book, and like your English teacher's like, "What's the deeper meaning here?" And it's just like, I don't know. Or like when like they say a line in a book, and like the teacher's like, "Isn't that so beautiful?" And you're just sitting there
Yes,
going, I don't
yes.
know what just
What?
was said. Yeah, like what are you talking about, man? I feel like that's the perfect example. So
Dude, that's crazy. Did you see that actually there's a I think a class at Stanford
yes.
that's being taught about Taylor Swift. There's like an English class
Yeah,
like being taught.
there's one in Western Massachusetts that I think is coming this fall. Someone that
Really?
I work with is about to write a story about it. Crazy, isn't it?
That's wild because I'm pretty sure like it started like I think it was some like West Coast school is
Mm,
like started that they're going to be holding like a basically an English course about Taylor Swift, which I
mm,
thought was crazy.
yeah.
But I can see a lot other campuses
Hmm.
doing that because it's going to bring them more money. You know how many people are going to sign up for that
Yeah.
class?
And yeah, it is. And I should honestly, just listening to this conversation, we should learn it so we could learn a little bit more about the lore and everything. Because you know how stupid I was when I saw the song is called about Kim K, is Thank You,
Yes,
Amy.
yes,
And
yes.
KIM is capitalized. I didn't put two and two together at all. Not once. Not once. Not once did I think, why are these capitalized? I just saw Thank You, Amy. Cool. And I was like, oh, she doesn't like this Amy person, blah, 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 blah. But then, like, it's when you go on TikTok where you really learn, like, seeing these
Oh
Swifties have
yeah.
their watch parties and everything. And it's so funny, too. It's like the same sense of like English teachers. Like, you see all the Taylor Swift fans, like, sitting around listening. And, like, they would just hear, like, the guitar or the piano. And they're like, oh, just beautiful. Just beautiful. And you're just like, now hold on a sec. And then, like, two lines would be said, and they're all looking at each other, like,
And then they
oh,
pause it and then
yeah, they're like,
they
did they just say that? Like they're dissecting it? I'm like, I didn't even realize that. Like, how? How did you realize this?
Dude, it's like when we were in school and they would put on the movies. What was the movie with freaking Lenny? What was
Oh,
that book?
Animal Farm? No, Animal Farm was with
No,
the
it wasn't
animals that could
Animal
talk.
Farm.
It's the American
No.
Dream. I know what you're talking about. The
Um
lay of the land. Or he
yes,
loved
yes,
his
and they
rabbits.
fucking and they kill Lenny. They
They killed
fucking
Lenny at
shoot
the
him.
end. Yeah,
Yeah, fuck. What's that whatever that book is called? I'm pretty
yeah,
sure like somebody based it off of like a movie. And I
yeah,
remember like being in English class and Mr. Gillen was like sitting through and he'd pause and be like, "All right, guys, and now that scene depicts this part of the
yeah,
movie."
yeah.
That's
No,
literally what it's like,
dude,
dude.
dude. That's so funny you said Mr. Gillen. I had the same exact thought. Shout out Mr. Gillen. Love you. Great teacher.
Shout out Mr. Gillen.
We
I
were
hope you listen
watching.
to us.
We were like watching Shakespeare, and I shit you not. We were 30 seconds into the movie. He paused it, sat back in his chair, and went, "Oh, isn't that just something?" And I'm
Yo!
sitting here going, "What are you? What are we talking about? I don't even know what they just said. Thy, how the Shakespeareans talk. I can't even think of a line right now. That's how outrageous it is."
Dude, this is how he used to do it. He used to pause
Yeah,
and then he
and then
would go
sit
like
back.
he'd sit back and he'd put his feet up like this and he'd be like, "So guys, look at this over here." I would
Dude, I
I
love
would
it. I
shit
love it. I'm glad you
myself,
had the
bro.
same experience because that's one of the funniest things to me. Is just like the immediate
Oh,
30-second pause, and it's like, oh my God, thy lady from the night. It's like, oh,
Taylor Swift, everybody. Basically just
yeah.
Shakespeare and Mr. Gillen's class.
Taylor Swift is just the Shakespeare of our generation, and we're just living for it, man. That's all we
We're we're
got.
we're just living for it, man. Oh, dude, I that gave me a really good laugh. That's
That was funny. That was funny, but
Oh, that's crazy. Well, I'm happy you enjoyed Taylor Swift, and I hope that our Taylor Swift listeners enjoyed that. We put that one in specifically for you guys. Uh,
exactly.
Um, but speaking of Taylor Swift, this moves on to our next topic that I want to talk about. Tyler talked about we were going to be talking about the latest Deadpool and Wolverine trailer,
Yep.
um, which is absolutely amazing. I keep seeing the breakdowns on all over YouTube, all over on
Hmm.
TikTok, and each one I watch, somebody finds something different.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is fucking crazy. How do
Yeah.
I even keep up with it? I'm at the point where I'm gonna stop watching the breakdowns because I don't want anything freaking ruined for me anymore. That's like my like religion. I love watching a trailer or a show
Yeah.
and go watching a breakdown. That's how I learn all this crap that I know. Um, but one rumored one that I keep seeing everywhere that kind of relates back is that Taylor Swift is rumored to play a character called the Dazzler. So if that ends up coming true, that
Yeah.
would be fucking awesome. So I'm hoping when we finally talk about this movie after it comes out on
Yeah.
opening day, we sit back here and we can come back to this clip and just talk about how Taylor Swift is just the epitome and is everywhere.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
amazing.
exactly. I can't really touch too much on the trailer that hasn't already been said by a million other like content creators. But I think I mean, that would just be a smart move for Marvel. I mean, her just
Yeah.
being at the NFL games, I know it outraged a lot of fans, but you saw viewership go up, sales go up, jersey sales, ticket sales somehow, like all these sales go up. So I think if it's hinted that she could be in the movie, I mean, Marvel sales already are usually pretty good for opening weekend. And this movie's highly anticipated, so I think it's going to be an
Yep.
all-time sale. But if you add the new demographic of Swifties, forget about it. I mean, it's going to
You
break all-time box office records if she's in it.
If you add the demographic of Swifties,
Unreal.
right?
Yeah. Because yeah,
This movie makes over $1.5 billion dollars at the box
I
office.
mean, it just might. Even if you don't even show her in the trailer, but you hint at it, if she's actually even
Yep.
in the movie, she might not be. But I mean, obviously, comic movies, I feel like, are more of the demographic is definitely males.
Oh yeah.
So that's just, obviously more Swifties are females. So to get the female demographic over to the Marvel movies, you just have to put Taylor Swift in there for that one movie. You're making record numbers. You're making your money back.
Dude,
So
they gotta do it. They gotta do it.
yeah, exactly. But I mean, I think so too. But I mean, just looking at the trailer, I think it was a very fun trailer. It just seemed very Deadpool-esque. I know it's not a Deadpool 3 movie. I know it's just like their own little Deadpool and
Yeah.
Wolverine movie. But it had, great music, very fun, very lighthearted. You're interested to see where it would go, and it's got me hooked for July.
Dude, it's got me hooked, man. I'm super, super excited. I know that Deadpool and Wolverine is gonna be awesome. When I
Mhm.
saw them drop the first F-bomb in the
Yeah,
trailer,
yeah,
dude, dude, it was electric. And
yeah.
I just thought the chemistry between the two was just hilarious.
Hmm.
Just especially like the first scene of him being in the bar and like Deadpool walking up to him and him calling him a lady, like
Yeah,
Wolverine
yeah.
calling Deadpool a lady. I was like, dude, just the jokes in this are just gonna be
Oh yeah.
so Ryan Reynolds and like Deadpool-esque. Like
Mhm.
it's gonna be great, man. But I think one thing I was most excited about the whole trailer, had to have been the scene at the end of them jumping through
Oh, the Doctor Strange
the
portal.
Doctor Strange portal, because a
Where are
lot
they
of people were
going?
saying that they blocked out, because usually you can see where you're going, but it's
Yeah,
blocked out. Like they purposely did that.
yeah.
So I'm really excited to see. I think my favorite rumor or like theory that I saw was that it's gonna be the end game scene
Dude,
and they're gonna be
that's
fighting.
my favorite theory to believe right now too. I would
Yeah,
love that so much.
yeah, dude, I think that would be really, really funny, to see them fighting, amongst all the MCU Deadpool, or Marvel characters,
Yeah.
Endgame guys. And honestly, if we just get to go back and relive Endgame again,
Hmm.
awesome, because
Yeah.
that movie came out, I think, the anniversary of 7 years
Yeah, something like that, right? Or
was
five. Yeah.
last week.
Yeah.
So, yeah, 5 years maybe. Yeah,
5 years, I
we're going
think. Yeah.
5 years. Yeah, that 5 year anniversary was last week. So
Mhm.
I was like, damn, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, I think this is
So
also just
wild.
like, yeah, this is just like one of those movies too. Like, they kind of said you don't even have to watch past X-Men or X-Men movies or anything or Wolverine movies. I mean, I'm sure it will or Deadpool movies. I'm sure it will help to kind of know a little
Yeah.
bit more about them. Um, but I think it's just going to be a fun, lighthearted, not lighthearted, but fun, feel good movie at parts that you're just going to enjoy. And then to see just, yeah, the camaraderie between Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, it's going to get me excited. I'll definitely be seeing that opening weekend whenever
Oh
it
yeah,
comes out.
100%, dude. I'm excited to see too, because you haven't watched any of the X-Men movies, right?
I've watched some of them, but I
You ever
don't
s-
remember.
you
I
ever
don't
see
remember
Logan?
them.
You ever
I
see
haven't seen
Logan?
Logan. I know he,
So
spoiler alert, I know he dies.
yeah, I mean
So,
Deadpool spoils that in
oh,
Deadpool
he
2.
does. Yeah, he
So
does.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So if but yeah, no, so Logan is probably the best. I would probably say it's probably top 3 out of the, X-Men movies.
Okay.
I want to say like out of all the X-Men movies, I really genuinely like probably like 4 or 5.
Okay.
Um but I would say it's like, a top one or two, right? It's like right there. I think it's my number one.
Okay.
But they said that they weren't going to touch upon that very much in this movie. So I'm kind of curious to see where they end up pulling like the main Wolverine for the movie from. I
Hmm.
think there's going to be a lot of like Deadpool variants. I think there's going to be a lot of
Oh yeah.
Wolverine variants. I think they've actually like came out with a poster that's like confirmed some Deadpool characters already. Like there's gonna
Hmm.
be a kid pool. There was a dog pool in the trailer. That was hilarious. Him
Yeah,
licking
that
his
was
fist.
funny. Yeah, yeah.
Um, but I think there's also going to be just as many Wolverine variants, and I'm
Hmm.
very excited to see what they do. I think Ryan Reynolds going to pull stuff out of his ass where he kind of just, pulls just like all his friends like from everywhere. It's going to be Ryan Reynolds Endgame where he just pulls anybody he's ever worked with that he became friends with and put
Yeah,
him into the movie
I
and
agree.
somehow. So very very excited, man. And I genuinely just cannot wait, dude. Um Also too, I know you haven't really been watching it at all, but the X-Men 97 series is
Hmm.
like another. I think they couldn't have planned it better to have this show come out like right before a major like X-Men related movie. So the people who have been keeping up with that kind of know some characters already.
Hmm.
But it's like every week with the cartoon animation, it's like banger after banger after banger. Like every episode right now is just
Hmm.
better than the next, and
Awesome.
it's really awesome. For those of you who haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's just honestly really good. I really because I used to watch the other ones, and it was I think I touched upon this last time,
Yeah.
but it was very kiddish in the other ones that kind of made it a little bit more adulty in
Hmm.
these past ones. But man, dude, very exciting stuff coming from Marvel, and I think they're gonna do a really good job with Deadpool and Wolverine, especially because it's the only one we're getting this year.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited, man, and I cannot wait to see that opening day.
Yeah, it's so great just kind of quickly going back again, even the Taylor Swift and the Swifties dissecting songs. I think
Yeah.
everyone in the Marvel and comic universe, they just love dissecting trailers. So
Oh
I
yeah.
think just, I'm not good at dissecting either of those. So I just sit back and you enjoy all the content creators on
Oh yeah.
Twitter and TikTok do it for us.
Yeah. 100%, man. Cannot wait. Cannot wait,
Exactly.
man.
Yeah, but I know we just talked a little bit about sports, talked a little bit about comics and stuff. We're going to stay in that nerd realm, if you will.
Yes.
And this drops on Friday, May 3rd, and meaning tomorrow, for all those who celebrate, is May the 4th. Uh,
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
so big Star Wars day for everyone who watches and loves it. And me and Carl thought we would end this with a lovely game, a fan favorite game that is Star Wars themed, and that is we blind rank Star Wars characters. We split them up because there's just so many good characters. We figured we would have some overlapping. So I'm gonna give Carl five good guys. He'll give me five bad guys, and we have to blindly rank them. And we already realized we left out some key characters, and we don't know who's included. So, Carl, you want to go first? You want me to go first? How we feeling?
However you, man. However you do. Let's do rock, paper, scissors. You ready?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors says shoot.
Oh man, you beat me. I did
Let's
paper.
go. Let's go. All right. Yeah. So I'll give to you first, and then you go to me.
Okay, sounds
All
good.
right.
Let's do
Ready?
it.
All
Yep.
right, so I got Tyler's going to blind rank the villains of Star Wars. So
Hmm.
for May the 4th be with you all.
Hmm.
So I'm starting off right now telling you that I left some key characters off the board,
I believe it.
and it was kind of a strategy here to see if Tyler is going to leave the 1 and 2 spot for who he thinks is going to be there.
Hmm.
So, before you jump down my throats in the comments, it hurt me to cut these people off the list, but it's only a top 5, so
Yeah.
it's whatever. All
Yeah.
right. Anyway,
All
so
right.
blind ranking, first person I got for you, Tyler, is none other than a Boba Fett.
Boba Fett. Okay. Good villain. I know, like you said, I don't know who else is on here. Could have left out some sleepers, but he's not my favorite. So I'm gonna go. I want to say three as a safe pick, but I can probably think of some cooler ones. So I'm gonna go with four. I'm gonna
All
go with
right, you
four
know
for
what?
Boba.
Uh, honestly, a lot of people have him as like their favorite villain, but I think that's a safe bet at 4. I
Hmm.
mean, top 5 of these guys, it's tough to put them anywhere because you don't know what's gonna happen.
Hmm.
All right, so my next one I got for you off the rip, I am going to put probably a lot of people's number ones, Darth Vader.
Yeah, and that's I'm not playing around. That's That's my number one as well. I was wondering, like, what am I hearing? Am I hearing Darth? I'm sticking with it too. I have to lock up that one as quick as possible because I do not
Yeah.
know who else there is. So he's my one.
All right. I think that is a very good one. The next one I have is Moff Gideon, somewhere from the newer Star Wars we've got from the
Ooh,
Mandalorian.
ooh, he was
Um, per
good.
Personally, I really liked him in all three, 4 seasons that we've gotten of him so far.
Hmm.
So
He's good. He's good, but he was good in all the seasons, and he was quite villainous. But I'm gonna have to put him at five,
you know,
uh, just because
that's
of
okay.
how new he is and probably not so well known.
All right. So you have two and three
I do.
left open here.
Hmm.
So my next guy I have for you, my next villain
Hmm.
is Darth Maul.
Darth Maul is sick. He is
Dude,
sick. He was
he
he
might be the
was
coolest looking one.
exactly. I know for if you only watch the movies, he was only in what one of the
Phantom Menace.
movies. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
only in Phantom Menace. But I mean, through all the different animated shows, I mean, he was in Clone Wars. I believe he was in Rebels, maybe even at some point. I feel like he just kept appearing.
His
Um,
arc in Clone Wars and Rebels alone is freaking amazing. Like character development is just insane.
yeah, so I'm gonna put him at two.
I
Uh,
I I really don't think you can go wrong there.
Yeah, and just because a double lightsaber is so sick,
So
he's got one
sick.
of the coolest lightsabers in the game, so I'm going with him.
Yeah, in the game, dude. And then finally that you are solidifying him at number three, I have Kylo Ren.
Nice, awesome. I think I did pretty well with this list. I was hoping you
I think
said
you
that
did
one.
too.
I like Vader, Maul, Ren, Fett, Gideon. I think that's a good order.
Yeah, man. I think yeah, dude. I think honestly, if I were to do it, I think that's the order I would have put them in.
Yeah,
But it was really tough, leaving off like Palpatine,
oh yeah,
uh, leaving off Jabba the Hutt.
yeah, yeah.
It was hard leaving off some iconic characters,
Of
but
course,
I think you got a good list. I think you got a good list.
exactly. So try and top that list. I'll give you some good guys right now.
Oh God! All right, here we go.
All right, so the first one I'm going with is nice to look at, good guy. I'm going Han Solo, Harrison Ford, young Harrison Ford.
That's tough because there are so many great good guy characters.
Hmm.
Um, but I think I'm gonna solidify Han Solo at number three. I
Okay,
think he is definitely in that top three category, no matter what you say.
sure,
So I'm putting Han at number three.
gotcha. So then the next good guy I have is Qui-Gon Jinn,
Dude, what a pull. What a pull, man.
another
What a pull.
iconic actor.
Oh God, man. Dude, what a pull because Qui-Gon and Liam Neeson just he was only in one movie, but he did like a really good job
Hmm.
at that character. He was probably the highlight of that film.
Yeah,
And his death obviously in The Phantom Menace kind of really changed the whole Star Wars. If he lived, Star Wars could have been so different.
who knows? Yeah,
That's why I want them to do a what if for Star Wars. I think that'd be cool.
that would be.
Um, but I do like a lot of other characters more than him. A lot of people say Qui-Gon is their favorite Jedi.
Hmm.
I'm gonna put Qui-Gon at number five though. Yeah, he's gonna be my number five,
Wow.
unfortunately. Yeah,
Wow. Wow.
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah,
Well, I can't be too shocked looking at the rest of these maybe.
yeah,
Um at all right, so then my next one, I have Luke Skywalker.
yeah. Tough, man. Because he was like my number one for the longest time because, Clone Wars. Um, Fuck. I'm gonna slot him at two. I'm gonna slot Anakin at two
Okay.
because I'm hoping out for somebody at one. Um,
Okay.
so I'm gonna go. Yeah, you
Okay.
said you said Anakin, right?
I said Luke.
Oh, you said Luke. I'm putting him at two.
Okay,
Fuck.
yeah. I said Luke. Luke.
I said we put him at two.
Luke. Luke. Okay, so Luke at two.
Luke at two. Luke at two.
All right. Sounds good. So next good guy I got, hero, if you will, is none other than the Mandalorian.
Yeah, I'm gonna put him at four because I do love the Mandalorian, but I'm really hoping out for that number one slot. I'm
Interesting.
really hoping
Okay.
out.
So, as you said, you got only one spot open. It is the number one spot. And the last person I had on this list is Ahsoka Tano.
Wow. Honestly, I'm not upset with that. Ahsoka's the
I
fucking
had
goat, man.
Ahsoka Tano. I did I
Wow.
did leave out Anakin. I did leave out Obi-Wan. I left out Yoda.
Wow.
I tried to make it a little diverse here, and you still ended up with a very good list.
Wow. You know what? I'm honestly not too upset about that
Hmm.
because as much as I love Luke and he did a great job in that original trilogy,
Hmm.
I'm okay with putting Ahsoka above him.
Gotcha.
So
Who were you waiting out for one? Obi-Wan?
I was hoping it was Anakin.
I had
I was hoping it was
I have
Anakin.
him on. I put in a few in parentheses as like honorable mentions, and Anakin and Obi-Wan
Yeah.
and Yoda was some big cuts for sure.
Yeah, I was hoping Anakin and Obi-Wan snuck in there. But dude, I think this is there's so many
So
good
many,
characters,
yeah. You couldn't
you
go
know?
wrong.
So I mean, so I had Ahsoka, Luke, Han, Mando, and Qui-Gon. I honestly I think that's a good five. That's a good five.
Yeah, that's awesome. That was good. That
Yeah.
was a nice thing to fit on brand with the holiday coming up for
Yeah,
all
man.
those who
It's a holiday,
celebrate.
dude. Can't freaking wait for the holiday. May the fourth be with you all, dude. I'm definitely going to check out Phantom Menace in theaters
Hmm.
because they're bringing it back. I think that'd be a good way to celebrate it. So,
Exactly, exactly. But that's everything we had planned for the show. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We hope you stuck around for all our lovely conversations on each topic. We appreciate everyone who listens each week. Keep commenting, keep watching the TikToks, keep following, keep letting us know what you think of the show. Because we don't want to keep doing this every week. And we like constructive criticism. You don't like something, you want us to talk about something, let us know. You know where to find
tell
us,
us
where
if
to
we
DM
suck, all
us.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
tell us we suck. Feel free.
Yeah.
But another lovely episode 29. Keep buying the merch. We appreciate everyone that listens as always.
As always, may the force be with you.
May the
And let's go, Knicks, and let's go,
yes,
Rangers!
sir. Peace out, guys.